You may now begin your presentation.
On behalf of the 2012 Brigham Young University Hawaii SIFE team, we say Aloha!
BYU-Hawaii, located in Laie on the north shore of Oahu, enrolls 2,700 students from 76 countries and 50 states, making one of the most diverse campuses in the world.
Although the Hawaiian Islands are considered one of the most remote island chains in the world, our SIFE projects have reached the far corners of the earth.
For 14 years, our SIFE team has been seeking ways to achieve the vision to change the world. Our chapter typically numbers over 120 members who volunteer thousands of hours annually.
This year, once again, our officer team and project managers, along with our business advisory board, selected projects to target specific needs and yield measurable results.
Our annual report lists our projects and shows how we have empowered others to improve their standards of living. We have included key indicators of the relevant economic, social, and environmental factors in our projects.
Today we focus on 5 areas of empowerment that have changed lives on our campus, residents in our community, and people in countries across the world. For each, we identified the problem and a viable solution that would yield a measurable benefit. We begin with Project in a Box.
Our SIFE team seeks to fulfill our school's mandate to enter to learn, go forth to serve. With over 120 members involved in 20 projects, we recognize that before we could effectively empower others, we need to first start with empowering ourselves.
Therefore, we implemented a globally recognized model for training our SIFE officers and members in project methodology. The Project Management Institute, or PMI, has established an approach that has standardized the life cycle of each of our projects. We learned that a key to a successful project is a clearly defined charter. This includes a problem statement and needs analysis, the sponsor and funding where needed, the project scope, and the relative qualitative and quantitative metrics.
Once an opportunity for service is first identified, a project manager is assigned to perform a needs analysis for the customer. Based on that assessment, a project charter is drafted, setting the scope of the problem and the key indicators of success. Once the SIFE executive team approves the project, it enters the planning phase.
The project is given a budget, a schedule, and assigned team members based on its priority in the SIFE portfolio. They use templates to make assignments, coordinate deadlines, and regulate communication with the project sponsor. As each new phase is completed, crucial decision points allow the sponsor and the audience to evaluate how the project is functioning.
As the team closes their work and reports on their success, they can deliver a self-sustaining process to their target audience, as well as a report based on the metrics established by the sponsor.
This Project in a Box initiative is a system to manage all of our projects from initiation to completion. We followed the PMI process for all of our projects. The Project in a Box consists of templates to make our projects process-driven. This improves quality and sustainability.
What were the results of this strategy? All SIFE leaders were formally trained on project management with the opportunity to take the PMI certification exam. Project teams have lower turnover due to improved management, communication, and engagement. Our initiatives are more focused, our target audience is more engaged, with success metrics based on identifying the customer's needs.
Professional planning has led to increased effectiveness in execution. Support has grown as improved communication has led to clearer objectives, controls, budget management, and overall transparency. Our SIFE team is funded entirely by merchandise sales as well as private individuals and major corporations that expect professionalism and measurable results from the projects in which they invest.
Our primary audience in need is our SIFE members, our sponsors, and especially the people who benefit from the projects. A clear result of the Project in a Box is the positive impact on every other SIFE initiative. We'll incorporate this process of initiation, planning, execution, and close as a framework to describe the projects.
John Mozo lived to photograph nature's handiwork on Oahu's North Shore. He captured the beauty, awe, and reverence of creation. While photographing the raw power of the ocean, John's life was taken, but his passion lives on.
John's wife, Nikki Mozo, approached the SIFE team at BYU-Hawaii 2 years ago and asked us to help share John's vision to help entrepreneurs on the North Shore. We live in a beautiful area and love the Ko'olauloa, but we're isolated and economically disadvantaged.
2 out of 5 residents in our community report family members had to leave due to lack of jobs and affordable housing. Math and reading proficiency scores in our district are significantly lower. These issues increase the high school dropout rate, which leads to lower paying jobs, unemployment, and economic instability.
John and Nikki love our youth and see something great in them. There was no local agency providing business or entrepreneurial skills training for high school students, so Nikki teamed up with BYU-Hawaii SIFE and started the Nahaku program.
Nahaku means one who creates or entrepreneur in Hawaiian. This program aims to help North Shore students shape their futures in the business world. John's success inspires them to achieve their dreams and live with passion.
We wrote a curriculum and recruited mentors to assist the new entrepreneurs during their 8-week semester-long course. The group meets Monday afternoons and is currently serving as a model for what we hope will one day become standard in high schools everywhere.
Quantitative success is measured by a pre- and post-test, survey evaluations, attendance records, and a final presentation of the business plan. Of the 80% of students who completed a plan, half of them went on to start their own company.
Some of our recent successes include Amber and Jack Henry. Amber, who had made $1,000 with her photography business in the first 3 weeks of operations. Jack Henry, who developed his own unique brand of apparel, Soarin' Hawaii. And this is what one of our recent graduates had to say.
I went to the meeting, the first meeting that we had, and I was just really inspired because I've been taking photos of people and they pay me for those things, but I never really told anyone, I have a business. This is my business. This is my name, and I'm marketing myself. I never had the confidence to actually say that to anyone, and being a part of Nahaku, like, they bring it out of you.
BYU-Hawaii has over 2,700 students from 57 developing countries. These countries have very high unemployment, and currently a high percentage of students are at risk of returning to their countries with no job.
Published research, interviews with students, external benchmarking, and alumni experience shows there's significant opportunity to improve the economic situation of students. Our solution is to provide self-sustainable entrepreneurial skills and business models students can implement while still in school and when they return to their countries. SIFE BYUH, in cooperation with our Center for Entrepreneurship, hosts this annual event.
The Think Plan Do project incorporates the 3 stages of entrepreneurial development. Students are encouraged to think of an idea, create a business plan, and then do the plan. Semi-annual conferences engage our students in developing their ideas into professional plans.
A Great Ideas Exchange is held each fall. Students are challenged to identify a problem or a need to focus on. They then meet with a local entrepreneur or a business leader who is assigned to coach, mentor, and motivates the students through the creative process of developing their idea into a basis of a plan.
The top 8 ideas, judged as the most creative and viable, are presented by the students to 1,000 of their peers, faculty, business executives, and investors.
Each spring, the Empower Your Dreams Conference requires students to develop a plan to implement their great idea. Students across campus participate in showcasing their plans in 3 categories listed here.
Each year, the event continues to attract more students and higher quality plans. This year were some of the strongest plans yet. In the new social entrepreneurship category, Akin Clothing and Congo and Trade won 1st and 2nd place respectively. They received $8,500 in cash prizes to help them start their new nonprofit business, both of which got their beginning in SIFE.
Those judged who have the top plans were generously awarded over $30,000 based on the potential of their plans. Now students move confidently towards graduation, armed with a clear set of ideas and well-defined business models ready to implement.
Another legacy project is the International Institute of Professional Protocol, hosted by our SIFE team annually. It is sponsored by BAB member Barbara Barrington-Jones and her family foundation, a foundation dedicated to liberating and empowering individuals. Recent studies show that most college graduates lack the basic soft skills most necessary in finding and landing jobs.
IIPP, as it is known, empowers its target audience, the students at BYU-Hawaii, by providing the soft skills training not traditionally taught in classrooms. Students are provided with 2 days of training and 10 workshops, shown here.
The entire event culminated in an etiquette banquet attended by 300, where attendees celebrated their achievements together. Students were provided entry and exit surveys to measure the impact of the training. There also was a big difference in how students looked from day 1 compared to after their professional makeover.
For the first time, we added a unique opportunity for those who completed 8 or more of the 10 sessions. Over 160 graduates of the IIPP seminar qualified this year for the Mentoring Experience Program sponsored by the foundation.
Barbara Jones, CEO of the foundation, returned to our campus in February to interview the applicants for the mentorship program. This program matches students with CEOs and owners of successful corporations in the Salt Lake City area, providing valuable opportunities to learn from some of the top professionals in their select fields. Out of 160 applicants, 12 were awarded placement in the mentorship.
In Hawaii, we say, aloha aina, malama aina, ahupua'a. Love the land, care for the land, and take stewardship for the resources you have been given. To care for our environment, we helped organize the Sustainable World Action and Technology team. SWAT is the portfolio name for each of our energy and sustainability projects.
The need we targeted was our university's skyrocketing energy bill, which averaged $510,000 per month. The charter focused on the need to cut costs and teach sustainability to staff and students on campus. With a common objective, we all can help to reduce energy waste.
For example, we learned that the cost of powering a single computer each year is $250, with the power remaining on 24/7. We divided our project into 3 phases: awareness, reducing power usage, and auditing. Then we realized that we cannot achieve a buy-in from an end user unless they recognize the problem.
We debulbed the unnecessary lighting fixtures around campus, reducing power consumption by 87,000 kilowatt hours. That's $30,000 a month. Finally, during our energy audit, we enlisted the facilities management staff to help us identify the parts of campus that were using the most energy. Our mantra was, what you can't quantify, you can't control. After 2 days, the managers understood where the waste was happening and developed plans to reduce that consumption.
Our initial action plan suggests strategies like continuing with debulbing, regulating air conditioning, and setting all computers to energy saver modes. We still have a ways to go, but so far, through these initial efforts, the university has already saved more than $60,000 in the first 2 months, and we are just getting started.
We learned from a recent graduate about a children's home in Cambodia that was in need of some business help. We talked to the directors who were survivors of the Pol Pot concentration camps. They have established a home for 31 children in Phnom Penh, but were facing a monthly budget deficit of $2,400. The charter was to design a sustainable way to enable the children's home to obtain the money it needed to survive.
We performed a needs analysis with the directors of the children's home and decided that the best way to help them help themselves would be by assisting them in marketing 2 products that they are currently producing and selling: greeting cards and bracelets. Our project scope was constrained so that no additional burden would be placed on these children to produce the crafts.
The solution we proposed increased the profit margin and revenue on the products the children were already making, without taking the kids away from their education or creating a sweatshop.
We also teamed with Oh My Crafts, a major online distributor of international handicrafts. Using their existing system of retailers, we were able to secure a reliable network for marketing and distributing up to 1,000 of these bracelets monthly.
We also worked with the Polynesian Cultural Center to install an exhibit about the remarkable story of how the Cambodian children's home came to be. Guests of the PCC had the opportunity to purchase crafts and make donations.
We focused on renewing the website and payment system for the children's home. We found that the previous payment service was taking almost 40% of donations as overhead for each transaction.
We identified a new nonprofit payment service that would return the money from our sales to Cambodia for a flat fee of $20 per wire transfer, saving thousands annually. Now our new website features an online store where donors can purchase the exports and make contributions online.
Our Cambodia project is now in the early execution stage. Earlier this week, we sent 2 team members there to visit the home and further document the effect in country.
Our International Legacy Initiative is called the Tuvalu Project. Tuvalu has a population of only 10,000, making it the 3rd smallest independent nation in the world. Comprised of 9 small atolls, Tuvalu has an entire landmass of only 10 square miles, with the highest point of only 10 feet above sea level. Many scientists predict that given current trends, the nation will be underwater within 50 years.
During our initial visit in 2011, laptops with English learning software and leadership training were provided to empower the Tuvaluan people to help themselves. We also provided a needs assessment last year to help us prioritize long-term needs.
We realized that the education and economy of this nation were sinking faster than the island itself, and that opportunities for the citizens of Tuvalu were eroding quickly. After discussions with the Ministry of Education, it was determined that one of the key areas where we were asked to assist was in Tuvalu's emphasis on preschool education.
Why preschool? Recent studies have proven that preschool education yields a huge social return on investment. In California, experts say that high-quality early childhood care consistently proves to be one of the best public investments, with an ROI as great as $17 for every dollar spent. For this reason, Business Week named preschool education as one of its 25 ideas for a changing world. Research now suggests that millions of children begin their kindergarten education with a learning deficit, and we wanted to ensure Tuvalans had all they needed to be successful students.
The Olave Preschool, run by Headmaster Kauseli Kaisami, has been teaching children for over 25 years in this structure called an umu or sleep out. Health laws mandated closing the school due to safety concerns. That's when Kauseli approached our SIFE team for help.
After the initial charter was approved, our project team compiled a plan which consisted of a budget, schedule, and scope statement for the preschool. We worked with the government of Tuvalu to draw blueprints, coordinate land sites, and obtain building permits.
4 months ago, we broke ground for the Olave Oki Preschool shown here. 10 SIFE students, 2 advisors, and 2 BAB members traveled to Tuvalu. The warm welcome we received from the Tuvalan people and government was overwhelming. 10 members of this delegation were selected by the Minister of Education to provide additional training on an outer island, Vaitupu.
Our SIFE team was the first group to receive such an invitation in over 20 years. We were accompanied by members of the Ministry of Education. After an 8-hour boat ride, we taught workshops and conducted computer training for 480 students. We used laptops and software donations our team secured through FlowCorp and Microsoft. We then administered a survey to validate comprehension and assess future needs.
Our SIFE team's activities were broadcast nightly on Tuvalu's national radio. Back on the main island of Funafuti, the remaining members of our team conducted workshops, trainings, and seminars for high school seniors and national youth leaders.
We also met with the Prime Minister, Governor General, and separately with 8 ministers of the Tuvalan government to perform needs analysis on potential projects. Waste management and recycling, energy audits, ecotourism, and home gardening are among several of the potential projects we have identified.
A BAB member, Grant Gwynn, currently an executive at Hilton Garden Inn, pledged Hilton's continued support for SIFE initiatives in Tuvalu. The brand is particularly interested in the square-foot gardening project to promote self-sufficiency in food production.
Although our home island is several thousand miles away, the Tuvalans have become our people. They have become our family. Easter summarized the experience in this way.
I know there's a lot of other places where our SIFE team could have went and invested our efforts and resources. And I know some people still question today why we chose an island that'll be disappearing in the near future. But when that island is your home and those people are your family, then the story is a little bit different. SIFE has enabled me to help my own people in a way that no one else has ever done. Our SIFE team has brought technology to the kids, built a preschool, and no one has ever done those things. And for me, growing up in that island and being able to give back to my people and my island is just an amazing experience for me.
It is reported that 67 million children worldwide were not enrolled in school by the end of 2011. Many of these children and their families want them to attend school. But in most developing nations, education is not free, and most families cannot afford to pay. One of the greatest financial burdens is school uniforms, which is required by local regulations.
SIFE member Ben House first became aware of the issue when he watched a documentary about children in South America working in mines to pay for the uniforms that are required to attend school. He was moved by what he saw and knew he had to do something. Hence, the Akin Clothing Project was born. The basic concept is simple. Through the proceeds Akin makes from the sales of t-shirts and other clothing, uniforms are purchased for students.
To earn their uniforms, children donate time to provide a service project to improve the community's environmental and social needs. Once the project charter was developed, a small school in Piura, Peru, volunteered to be the pilot school to validate the target market's needs, test our assumptions, and perfect our basic model.
Based on this concept, we established success metrics validated by the community to ensure that the project stayed focused on delivering the desirable benefit. After confirming our plans with the community and school, it was determined that there were at least 60 students not attending school because of the lack of uniforms.
The Peruvian students also felt that the best service project was to plant 45 algaroba and tamarind trees, which not only improved the community and make shade, but provided an additional food source. It was determined that $6 need to be raised for each school uniform. Based on input from our customers, we finalized our budget and sales targets for t-shirts.
In addition to local leaders in Peru, we also collaborated with several other organizations during the planning phase. A list of our strategic partnerships is found in the annual report you hold now. After securing the needed startup capital from our donors, t-shirts were designed and sourced to raise the necessary funds for procuring school uniforms. Awareness of our cause and sales were promoted by our corporate sponsors, social media, and word of mouth. The response we received exceeded our best expectations, with all t-shirts sold and target funds raised in just 2 days.
Within a month of initiating the project, we delivered our first set of school uniforms to a small village in northern Peru. Under the direction of community leaders, students, alongside a kin, planted trees throughout the village as a way of empowering them and contributing to their environmental health. We've pledged to stay in contact with the school and provide additional school uniforms in the future when needed.
As expected, there were a few issues identified in the process in Peru, but overall, the project delivered the desired results. The hands-on experience in Peru set the foundation for the standard model that is now being replicated and adapted to the local needs of similar schools around the world.
The Peruvian students' desire to be a part of serving other students in need is surprising and admirable. They decided to design t-shirts to sell for future schools, helping people they have never met in countries across the world. This is now part of the Akin model at every school.
After the success in Peru, we traveled to Ghana last week, and we are preparing to visit Samoa in June and Guatemala in November. The ultimate goal is to replicate this simple model so that it will scale quickly to enable Akin to sustainably help as many children as possible throughout the world.
We begin by empowering our own SIFE team with the project methodology that we showcase in Project in a Box. This has allowed us to develop and execute our plans uniformly and makes our efforts scalable.
Our campus legacy initiatives, the Think, Plan, Do, and Empower Your Dream business competitions, help our university students experience business plan writing, as well as pitching investors on their visions for free enterprise after graduation.
The Nahaku program helps empower high school students on the North Shore of Oahu to achieve their dreams and live with passion. Budding business ventures are beginning to breathe new life into our local economy.
The IIPP Training and Internship Program helps hone vital protocol skills that will give us the competitive edge in the professional world. The mentorship program through the Barbara Barrington Jones Foundation is already opening up doors of opportunity for SIFE students.
Our environmental initiative, SWAT, has impacted our carbon footprint, kilowatt consumption for the better, saving our school projected $360,000 per year.
Our marketing program for the Children's Home in Cambodia generated sustainable income for our customers and provided valuable experience in the principles of social entrepreneurship on an international scale.
Our visit to Tuvalu this year helped strengthen our relationship with the government and people of this amazing place, as well as identify new needs for our visit next year. We've also constructed the Olave Oki Preschool, which we've proven to benefit the education on Funafuti.
Akin Clothing has seen international success since the development and launch of its mission to empower the children of the world.
As our results have demonstrated, these projects are sustainable and scalable in their vision to change the world.
Mahalo nui loa and aloha!
Thank you, Brigham Young University, Hawaii. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Thank you. Can you tell us about something that didn't work out so well this year and what lessons you learned from that experience?
Yes. One of the projects that we did not execute was a project called To the Power of One. The reason why we did not execute this project was because we struggled to agree on a scope that matched the SIFE criteria. But we didn't execute the project because of our focus and emphasis on planning and project charters, and we were able to reallocate our resources more effectively to other projects.
What project are you proudest of and why?
The project that I'm proud of is the Cambodia project. The reason why is when I was 15 years old, I was left without a home. I remember I had this big black trash bag, just a few belongings that I had. I remember walking in the dark streets and wondering, where am I going to sleep? What am I going to eat? And how am I going to get to school? Then there was a couple friends and some family members that took me into their homes here and there, fed, clothed me, and provided a way for me to go to school. When I heard the story of the founders of the Cambodia orphanage, how they went to the cities of Phnom Penh and picked up these children off the street that had no food and no one to care for them, I was humbled. Because it was brought to my remembrance of the people that helped me along the path when I desperately needed. For this reason, the Cambodia Project is my favorite project, because I want to give back to these children what was given to me. And so, out of the small and simple things, proceedeth that which is great.
Just trying to understand the Akin project. You've got grants here of $12,500. Does that include the sales of the T-shirts?
No, we were able to secure grants for the project, and then we used part of that grant to pay for the product. And then from the product sales, we've been able to use that funds to buy the school uniforms. And so we still have funds left over, hence why we are still preparing to go to Samoa and Guatemala. But the nice thing is, when we went to Peru, we'll be able to put basically rubber stamp the project. So when we went to other countries, it was very easy to replicate. So when we went to Ghana, for example, we teamed up with SIFE Ghana, and it was very easy to replicate it on another place because we'd already got that plan put together. So it'd be very easy to continue to do that in other places.
So in Ghana, then they'll sell the T-shirts with the SIFE Ghana, is that?
So we basically made it so we could transfer the project over to those in Ghana. Of course, we're going to still collaborate and work together with them, but the team in Ghana have volunteered to work in partnership with us to product Akin shirts over there, so they are able to sell, so they can take care of the school closest to them.
Okay, so you get $12,000 in revenue, or donations. What kind of revenue did you get from the sales of the T-shirts?
For every shirt, we make about $9, so it depends on which school we go to. So for each country, the school uniforms are different prices, so it depends on what we do, but we're able to make it sustainable by keeping a small profit so we can continue to grow the business and replicate it around the world.
The Tuvalu project was the most expensive project at over $200,000 of expenses. What have you done to ensure financial sustainability of that project going forward, since there aren't any obvious revenue sources?
We have a number of corporate sponsors that we work with. Currently, as you saw, we work with Hilton Garden Inn, as well as Cardell Homes. One of the things that we've been looking forward to do is to initiate projects where we can train the Tuvaluan people so they can do the things themselves. One of the things that we focused on is something that they asked help with, is an energy audit. Because we have similar circumstances in Hawaii with high prices of electricity, we're able to take the same things that we did on campus, and we're going to train the Tuvaluan people.
On the professional mentoring program, it appears that that's a 4-year-old project. What specifically did your team do this year to make it better?
I was one of the 12 participants that were selected for the 1-week internship from the 359 students. And I did my internship at New Skin.
The question and answer time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the Brigham Young University Hawaii SIFE team.